Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tina and it's so good to be here crafting with you. I get to turn the lights on in the Create Studio and pretend like it is not miserable outside, because it is. How wonderful is it though to have something that we can do in our own homes? We don't have to go anywhere. Heck, we don't even have to get dressed, right? All right. So I'm here to put together one of our Scrap In With You kits, and this is our camp kit. Now, this one has already been released and has been for sale on the website, but I have not had a chance to do the process video. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today. I've done a little pre-work to get me ahead, but not much. But what I'm really enjoying for today is this. It definitely, for starters, this is one of our kits that comes with a full sheet of stickers, which is so great because you get to personalize your layout. So for me, I'm going to change this, and that big large tent icon, I'm going to show you how to put that together, the embellishment. I'm not even going to be using that. I'm gonna create myself a little scene. All right, I'm gonna just I have mine laid out. I'm just gonna gather these up. I have as I mentioned, did a little bit of pre-work, but the one thing that I should have done was put this down. I've just attached the photo placeholders. All right, I'm going to talk about those, but let's go ahead and get this. Is an 11.5 by 11.5. And I love the pages not matching. That is definitely something that I enjoy, to have a variety of color. I don't want to feel like I have to always match everything and be just so. I got really comfortable trying this. It's been a long time ago, and now I really like it. This is also a great way if you prefer papers that only have, or if you only have a single sheet of paper, or you prefer papers that only come with a single sheet. This is a great way. Lining up at the one, and these are cut at 11.5 as well. I nicked this little piece right there. I'm gonna try to make sure that I don't pay attention to it. That's what I'm gonna do. My idea is to not pay attention to it. This piece is a little crooked, actually, just a little bit. And since this is my anchor piece, this big piece, this piece is 2 inches. It kind of anchors everything, and I put everything up against. I'm gonna go ahead and move it a little bit. There we go. A little bit of yellow. Just some outdoor color vibe and some water vibe. With the rain always comes my sinuses, so I am sorry. Try to wait for it to pass, but those sniffles just want to be wherever they want to be. All right, one more strip. Okay. So really what I think I like about this layout is similar to another one that I shared, is the layout really comes together through the stickers, and that's how you theme it. And you have a lot of areas that give you plenty of room to add whatever stickers you like. Now, I know my photos are going to be this way because I take selfies when we're out on a hike, and that's how I'm going to do this. But if your photos are in the opposite orientation, you can flip this and the layout is going to look fabulous. It's one of my favorite things. I'm going to center this just kind of between here and here. All right, there we go. Another one that's going to go right there. I am going to put this together now. All of these, this style kit, the sketch that we used for these kits, they include these circles so that you have them to kind of highlight the stickers. You can find stickers that you like. You know, like I always go for like circle to circle, but it doesn't have to be. You could highlight it, a little animal or some fish or anything. I'm going to put those aside for now, but those are always there. But that tent is, I love the tent. I'm just not going to be using it. Let me move these off. I like to keep them in the color pattern that I have found that I like. I'm going to be attaching these. I am making X's. This is something that I do when I am trying to be a little bit faster. If you trust in your adhesive, you don't need to cover every single corner. you know, of your photo. You just need enough on there to keep it. In particular, if you use page protectors. Now, if you do not use page protectors and you do open scrapbooking, I do suggest you go with more adhesive and make sure that you hit all of the corners. This is going to leave a bigger, wider gap down the center, the way that I'm laying it out. There we go. It's meant to be that way. Everything doesn't always have to line up and be perfect. You could also move them all so that they touch and leave a bigger border around. It's kind of your choice. This leaves it open for me to place some stickers here on some foam tape and not cover up my photos as much. All right, just shape this up a little bit. Here we go. I'm going to place this one so I can put stickers across the top and stickers across the bottom. So I'm going to use this line here to see just how low I want to go with that though. Like here, 6 is all the way down here and it feels really low, but it does feel centered. But I think I'm going to have it up just a little bit higher. I think I'm going to go about 2 inches down. And then I will, I'm going to go a little bit more than I thought. You know what? I'm going to go 2.5, 2.5. Let's go right in the center. I got a feeling I'm going to say, I wanted that to just be like a 1/2 inch closer to the top. So when it happens, you guys will know. All right, let's assemble the tent. So the reason why the tent is so easy to assemble is you get this base piece. Now this base piece, which is black, let me grab a cover so that you can see that black a little bit better. That black on black matte thing there doesn't always work for us. There we go. Okay, so because you have this piece, you actually do not even need this. All of these pieces put together will create this shape. You're not going to see any of the black. It is not a shadow. It's literally been put in here for you so that you can put this together and get your pieces exactly where they go. All right, so we're just going to start with the big one. I love the colors though in this. This really does bring in all the other colors that are in the kit, but I don't camp. I do hike, but I don't camp. So for me, I thought this is an easy fix. I have so many stickers with this kit that I'm going to be able to grab it. I am going to place this on the page and show you why you would have wanted to put your pieces up a little higher. I'm on the creek on my floor in my craft room. It drives me nuts. It's right where I stand to do my videos. It wasn't there before, but it's so funny. Every time I hear it, it sounds so much louder to me because I'm, you know, paying attention to it. All right, so then you can see here, all of the pieces will fit, including this black piece. But if you leave this off, it will actually have less dimension there, and that's supposed to be the inside of the tent. But just in case if you know, want it, we left it in there, but I'm going to leave my piece off. And there you go. You'll have this cute little tent. Something else you could do is elevate with different layers of foam tape, but it goes together just like that. You can see that fits in there as well if you want to, you know, do the whole thing. All right. So before you go, this is where this piece goes. If you move this higher, you will see that in moving that higher, you can fit your photos and just have this on top of them. So this would go, I love my adhesive. This goes up higher. This goes down nice and flat down here. You can still fit those photos to it and still have lots of room. So always lay your layouts out before you start, you know, putting everything down, just like I do at the start of every video. Okay, moving this down again. I am going to go 2 inches down on this one, but I'm not going to press. All right, so here are my stickers. Let's just take a look. All right, I am not a camper. What I love about this is they do have camp, they have fish, they have hike. I love it, right? I love it, I love it. Oh, I did say I was going to go at 2.5, but let's go ahead and start pulling off some of these stickers that I have to work with. All right, so I have the bear. I'm going to want to use my craft mat as I design on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. All right, there is a little moose over here, right here. All right, there we go. I know I'm going to want the hike. And this will take me longer than putting the whole layout together, is how I choose my stickers. I don't plan on doing this for every video that includes the whole sheet of stickers, but I've had multiple people tell me that they like, that they liked my prior video, so I thought I would share some more tips. All right, why the lanterns? Even though I'm hiking and it's not going to be dark, I will almost always gravitate towards anything that has like a banner piece to it. I like the look, so that's kind of a preference. And I don't think I have to stay away from every single camp thing on here. Do I hike in the dark? No. Keeping it real, right? I'm going to pull the little animals out, even though I might not use them all, because I might see animals on my hike. You get so many stickers here. I like the little nature stuff, the tree, the little cattails. I would love to know if you guys have ever burnt cattails. I would really like that. Okay, I like this little sign. And when you hike in parks that have camping, you would see signs like this. So there you go. I'm going to save all of my words for the end. I do want to make sure I pay attention to this border that is available down here, because I think I can add some stuff to that. I like the adventure is waiting. And I like to be able to grab my stickers, decide if I'm going to use foam tape or not, and then move on. Okay. Oh, yeah. Look, this is so good. Take a hike is right there. All right. I like that. I love you some more. All right. Maybe I keep that for a little top thing. I like that. You can see how generous I can be with my stickers. And the reason why I can be this generous with my stickers is because you literally get an entire sheet. Now, these stickers are adorable. You could definitely hold back and just start pairing these with other solids that you have in your collection and get multiple ones as well. All right, I'm planning on doing this little thing across the bottom here. I even thought about bringing in a piece of paper and just tearing it. All right, so I have a selection of stickers out that are available to me, and I'm going to focus on just the little animals first. So I'm going to grab my anti-static pouch that I use for my adhesive. So I use this one, and sorry guys, I realized I forgot to put my mic on. So I will try to stay close to the camera. All right, so this is the one that I use when I am doing foam tape. And I would stick my mic in now and just turn it on, but I've never done it midway. I think I have done it once midway through. Let's see what happens. I guess worst case scenario, I could always go back and dub it. Okay. Okay, wonderful check for us. We'll see if it happens. I have a green light. Let's go. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of focus on my animals first. I have a little basket. And this is how I normally will work when I'm doing a lot of foam tape. I know that instead of doing one at a time, it's just a little time saver. Matter of fact, I would move this out of the way too. I'm very sensitive to the amount of powder that's going to be flying. This allows me to be as fast as possible. I might want the tree with these and the cattails, so it's okay if I don't use them all. And I'm giving myself so much powder. I'm giving myself the option to put these all on foam tape. But the reality is if I end up deciding, which I will, I'm sure of it, if I end up deciding I don't want them all on foam tape, I will have, I'll just be able to put regular adhesive on them. I'm rubbing that on there to get those little centers of the lantern out, those pieces that didn't come. So I just rubbed it on my craft mat, and so that one stays on. This one stays on. Okay, so there it is. But see, they'll just stick to my craft mat. A lot easier than me trying to pick every single one out. Okay, I know that I'm not going to put the hike in there. I don't know about this sign. Giving myself lots of options. There we go. Now I still have to come back and do some more of this, but now we're going to dump it. I know you're probably like, wait, what? Okay, and then foam tape. Now you'll notice I just dropped them in the first time. I make sure that I flip them over this time so I can see my options. The ones that I normally have to cut foam tape for, sometimes I'll even put those aside. So I cut all at the same time, or I pull out some of my smaller cuts. So if I know I'm doing, you can see all my stickers because I did the embossing, the anti-static pouch. I still call it my embossing bag, even though I know it's an anti-static pouch. But you can see that none of them are sticking to each other. So I can just kind of move along as fast as I can. I find that doing the foam tape is one of the longest processes that I have. Because I'm generous with my foam. And I'm trying to give myself a little bit more ease in some of the things I do. One of those things is foam tape. I know you're either going to love or hate this tip. I worked for years trying to decrease the amount of foam tape that I used. Sometimes I look at something and I'm just like, nope, that's going to flatten. But one of the things that I have been working on is trying to use less foam tape and just say it'll be okay, kind of surrender. And that's something that I think for me in particular, it is going to take a little bit more work. So you're going to love that tip or you're going to hate that tip depending on where you fall with foam tape. This one in particular would be something that I would worry about a little part caving in. So I'm just going to cut these in half. I have one more cut after this. But even on my letters, I don't completely fill my letters. I used to love to stack my letters. I would cut alphabets so I could have my titles, and I would cut, I would cut them 5 times, and I would have all of my entire title just layered up multiple times. I still do that and I love it, but I will say it's time consuming. It is faster on the Cricut, but it's not as fast with the Cricut when you calculate in that I want to grab scraps out of my drawer and constantly be depleting my stock. When I know I want 5 layers of something, that's a time consuming thing. I'm looking at the hike and I'm thinking the hike is going to go perfectly at the top. So it is possible that I'm going to want to go ahead and grab that. Now this here are the legs. They are some thin little pieces. I'm going to do every other leg and hope that it's going to be enough. Same thing, I'm just going to do a tiny piece on the antlers. George and I had been laughing recently because I think he did it because it made me laugh. He was calling butterfly antennae antlers, and I thought it was so funny. Every time he said it, I would just get a little chuckle. So I think he kept doing it just to make me laugh. Okay, here we go. And This probably took me as long as it did to lay out the entire thing. Okay, so I'm going back now and I'm looking at what I have, and I think I'm going to just go ahead and do the rest of these, but drop them in. Another thing is, if you don't have one of these bags, you can just use a paintbrush with some cornstarch or baby powder. And you can always add more. Okay, and the hike for me, probably going to want this on foam tape. So I'm going to do this one last here and drop them. I have so much right here, powder right here, that I can use that up. That's another thing. If you do it all over one area like this, you can use that extra. There you go. And they're all nicely done. All right, let's flip those over. I'm going to stick with the same dimension of foam tape throughout as well. This also makes it easy for me if I'm using 2 dimensions of foam tape. I can go back and forth a lot easier on the dimensions instead of doing one piece at a time, one piece at a time. I do think the camp looks a tiny bit thicker. The lettering looks a tiny bit thicker than this. All right, we are almost done. That hike, I just lost some of my backing to my foam tape, so I'm hoping it's going to hold out and not stick to everything. Here we go. These baskets that I have been using forever, and by forever, I mean, I think I've had them close to 10 years. I got them at my local dollar store, and I have used them for all kinds of things. I love that they all just stack right on top of each other. I'm not a fan of something that's deep that I would have to reach my hands into. It just doesn't work for me. So I like something that's very shallow that can sit next to me, that I can clean up very easily. That's, where I live. Okay, another tip. My little vacuum needs batteries, but I actually have the little tabletop vacuum, and that works really good for getting this. But do not wipe it off the first time wet. I find it's awful. I'm going to just kind of throw it all to my craft mat. There we go. If you have a lot, I do this with my embossing powder too, and then I take the craft mat to my trash can and shake it out. Take this with me. Okay, there we go. And I love that adhesive does not stick to this ever. I only have one craft mat that is full size like this because it's all I need. I don't think I'm ever going to need another one. I'm not going to buy another craft mat just to buy another craft mat. I'm not a person who does that. I do try to be frugal with my my crafty dollars, cost conscientious. All right, bring this back in, and now we are ready to play. So it probably took me just as long to do my foam tape as it did to get the pieces down. Now this one I haven't put down because I'm probably going to put that on foam tape. All right, let's start laying out some stickers. And then comes the fun. I'm thinking of doing this cute little scene down here. I thought that this would be fun with some of these animals, just so that I had this little nature scene. There's so many though. I might want to swap a couple of these out. Here we go, having them across there. I have the little sign. There's a lot that I'm moving up to the top. I love you some more. I love to put my banners up at the top. I have the Take a Hike, which I think is going to make it on this page. All right. And now laying everything out. It's like an entirely different layout once you start having everything come out. So one of the things I thought about doing was grabbing a little piece of paper out of my stash, a green piece of paper, and creating just a little base at the bottom for my, so I have this is just some scrap paper that I have. All right, and since I'm going to be ripping it anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it off. What I like about these kits is you don't need to add anything, but if you want to add stuff, there is some variety there. I like that it's kind of the color of the water, and then I'm just going to kind of add this in. And I may also want to add in a little bit of brown at the bottom as well. So you don't need to do these things, but one of the things is someone had mentioned that they really like doing their own stuff because they still like making their own kits and designing their own pages because they like being creative. And I'm like, so do I. So, and, you know, it's perfect, but here's a perfect situation for that. I went ahead and I also grabbed a leftover brown one that I had, and I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to go ahead and tear it. These are going to go really close on top of each other. Okay, plus I get to clean out some of my scrap drawer. This one's too big. You can see I'm really making this messy. But when the kits that have the entire sheet of stickers, you can really get crafty. They tend to be the ones that take me the longest. All right, and what I think I'm going to do, I have those 12-inch strips. I'm going to, and the reason why I tore both of them is I didn't know which way I'd want to lay it. I'm going to give myself an option there. I think I like the green on the top. All right, slide these little guys all up, and they're going to go right on top of this, so it's going to be fine. All right, the first one I'm going to put down is the brown. And I'm going to dab just across the bottom. Only across the bottom because we're going to need the top to shove the other one under there. That's going to be how we create this. The 12 all the way across, pull it back, just like that. The moose really likes that. And whatever color you have, I don't need a perfect match on these things. This is nowhere in the layout, and I put that in. Colors will blend. Variations of colors will blend. You don't have to have everything just so. Okay, there we go. And now this will also give me the ability to tuck some behind, put some on the front, you know, to kind of make them look like they're a little bit more forward or a little bit more back. So I like that as well. All right, so I'm going to put the tree up there for sure. See how now I can create this. And if you want this to be a little flatter, you can obviously come through with a brayer, but if you have just an acrylic block and you give it a little bit of weight, you can still tuck it underneath. That's why I do like to leave it, but there you go. You'll find that with a little bit of pressure, it'll flatten it out a little bit more because I do that pullback thing. So I've had it. All right, look at all my options. I have a little beaver going over here. I like the beaver on this page that has the water. We're going to put the little beaver up there, I think, for now. This one here is super cute. Let's see what we like. All right. You could even add another, maybe like a ½ inch or 3/8 of an inch there at the bottom. We definitely do not have the room for all these. I'm a lot less likely to see a moose where I live than I am a raccoon, just so you know. But it's really cute. A bear, I think I'd have to go into Pennsylvania to see a bear. I don't want to know if there's bears where I live, so maybe we just keep those comments to ourselves. All right. So I'm finding trying to balance the two that are on the tree stumps are not my favorite. I'm going to put that one over there. You can see I'm just kind of adding little bits here and there on where I would like these. And just by putting them up and down, it's giving me some more variety. I do like the deer, and I see so many deer. I'm going to swap out, even though I didn't think I was going to swap out. I'm going to bring him over here. And maybe it's just because I'm looking at putting both of those towards the bottom that I'm not 100% sure on. All right. Just kind of creating a little kind of path of cute little guys. Okay. This one's going to have to come off of foam tape. And what I'll do is I will put this right back on my little sheet. I try not to waste because that one's going to be going in the back like that. And still I find I spend less time doing all of them. Here we go. I think I'm pretty comfortable where I am. The only thing is I'm going to want to move this over a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and start putting down. I may actually have to adjust, but let's go ahead and go for it. I think they're ready. This is really cute. Now this might be, George and I are doing a lot of walking and hiking right now. I can walk out of my front door and be down at a canal area that has beautiful woods to hike and walk in 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. So we have been walking a lot more, and we've been taking a few pictures, on some of our milestones that we've done with our walking. And I have a feeling I'm going to need a lot more of these as I target that. We still have a long way to go. Okay, this guy here is going to go in the back. There we go. And I'm just going to keep working my way across. I'm thinking the cattails, I might not want those on foam tape either. Here we go. Close, but not touching on that. One of the things that I have been doing is incorporating something from my stash on every project that I'm trying to do. Not our kits, but more my personal projects. This guy's going to go down a little bit lower. No foam tape on this one. I'm really only going to save the bigger pieces. There we go. And still, if I sat here and I did both with me peeling these little things off, it's still faster than me trying to do each one individually. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm in a rhythm that works for me when I'm doing the whole one step at a time. And I think if you're going to get these stickers, these embellishments that come with this, it's such a great time to be creative. All right, and this little guy here, and we will be done. All of those. There you go. All right, I'm going to use some of that foam tape that I'm going to grab a new one. I'm going to go ahead and take some foam tape and do the I Love You s'more. But also, I feel like I could use these. George and I have chosen multiple places that, okay, I've chosen multiple places for George to organize that we can go. A couple of them are glamping in Tennessee, where we would do a lot of hiking, and a couple of other parks. So I feel like all of this will work. Okay, the hike is going over to the right. So this one is going to come over here and come to the left. It's not covering any pictures. I'm going to go ahead and start building the hike from the right side out. I'm going to use tweezers because I would need to. Okay. I find that the tweezers really do help. And I know I'm peeling a lot off camera, but I'm just peeling these and throwing these on my floor. I have a floor that I don't have carpet, so that is a huge plus, but I do what I call craft room barber shop. I do throw all my stuff on the floor and then I just sweep it up like a barber shop. So I call it craft room barber shop. I am not level there. It's because I need to pull this a little bit more towards me. Foam tape. There we go. Give you a shot at the back of my head. All right. Sometimes I just have to be right on top of something. This whole video is really about sticker placement. I probably should have done it in 2 segments, but maybe I will go ahead and speed up a good portion of this video. I'll have to see what the time frame is at the end. The foam tape really likes me. It wants to stick to my fingers. That's what happened with this one. Let me just grab a little piece and put it back there. It's still worth it to have that dimension for me. Make sure it's straight. There we go. Final piece. And doing the foam tape like this on the for titles, I love stickers. I'm always going to love stickers. I'm a scrapbooker. It takes me back to where I began, except the quality is so much better. These are cardstock quality stickers. So the quality is so much better now. All right, for the little beaver, I'm going to leave him off for just a minute because I do have an option, and I'm just going to keep placing. But it takes me back to where I started. Where I started was you didn't even have collections that were together. You bought stickers, you bought paper, and most of the time my paper was solid or really crazy pattern papers or things that were so big. I'm not a fan of where you have a 12 by 12 scene that you then mostly cover up. I really struggle with that because it used to kind of drive me a little nuts, in my early days as well. Look at that, just super cute little lanterns there. So having stickers is like, when the scrapbooking industry, we saw, sticker collections and everything come back, in particular with Close to My Heart, I was really happy. I was like, okay, I can do this. Because I've always done foam tape. I think that I probably tried to be a master of foam tape from the first time I found it. I used to use one particular brand. I would wait for it to go on sale at Walgreens, and I would, every time they were like buy one get one half off, sometimes they would limit, you could only have like one per visit, so I would ask my whole family to go down so we could all buy one of them. I have always loved the foam tape. All right, this is going to go right here. There we go. I do like the Take a Hike. And the little deer are very cute. Very, very cute. Kind of digging that. I like the beaver on this page because of color combinations more than anything else. All right, and then the deer, which I'm so much more likely to get pictures of. I like the little compass. All right, I think I'm golden. Let's go ahead and put these down. Knew once I got that scene at the bottom. All right, I'm going to put the Take a Hike so that it stays on the striped papers here. I don't like it as much. It's probably because it's not on foam tape. It matches this right here, so I'm just going to bring it over. I do sometimes struggle. It's gone on my photo. Yes, I take the time after I put these together to cut that off. I am looking at this and wondering if I'm going to add very much bling to it. Yeah, that Take a Hike, I feel like should go right on top of my photo, my favorite photo, so I can move that. It may end up on the top. it could end up like right here is what I'm thinking. I stuck it down, but we're going to see if I can, how loose it is. The little deer right here, which I'm likely to get quite a few of those. We have beautiful deer in my area. Beautiful, beautiful deer. They know that there are some safe places for them. Before, years ago, they would even come right into my backyard. All right, I'm going to add this just on regular. There we go. Now I have these strips for telling a story, and I have kind of pulled away from using these. All of my kits had these, and I had kind of pulled away from using some of these, but I'm going to want to put a couple of details in here. I'm just debating on if I'm going to want 2 or 3. I think 3 might be too many. But these strips, even though they're meant to fit over here on the other side of that tent, if you use it, you put them wherever you want. All right, I'm going to trim these off just a little bit because I'm going to shove them. My technical term, they're getting shoved. All right. Just a little bit too close for me. Sometimes I even like to cut the side that's going to be sticking out when I do this on angles. I'm going to leave a very thin line in between them and just kind of make sure that they're not all the same length. There we go. Some cute little details. I can always grab one of my squares here and write on top of that and just forego a picture. I've done that plenty of times. I just do a 3x3 of whatever color paper I want. I choose white a lot, and I draw the lines on it a lot. I love to draw journaling lines that are about 1/4 of an inch apart. Peeled the top off. Hold on. I have a piece of foam tape that I peeled that I need to just pop a little coating back on. Here we go. I usually draw my journaling lines 1/4 of an inch apart. I do not have nice handwriting, and I'm one of those people where depending on, I can't write with my paper straight. I severely broke my wrist many years ago, and I can't do like I can't write straight. I have to really write on an angle. Now that I decided to move my little guy over, I just have to see if I just broke this or not. If I had brought my hike over a little bit, I might have liked it a little bit better. But I think I'm going to be okay. Let's return to my sticker sheet because I still have all those words to do. And I'm just going to take a look and see if there is a little something that I want to put in here. Gosh, you have the cute little fish if you're doing fishing. All right, I have some leaves. So what I think I'm going to do to fill this little area is put the leaves in and put this on foam tape. Still just playing with all my pieces. Sometimes when I peel the foam tape off hoping to reuse it, it's picked up so much powder I can't. All right, I have my little northeast, southwest. I'm going to put that right there. And there was another leaf here. I'm going to take that and put this kind of like this, bringing that together a little bit more. I like it. If I had one more leaf, I might add it to this side over here. Okay, so I have a lot of words, but if you remember, I said I don't want to ignore this plaid. I thought this plaid sticker was super cute. I want to see if I can fit this anywhere. Remember, I said I might put something down here. Now, these are not 12 inches. They're 11.5 by 11.5. So I would need to come in 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to lay it down really, really lightly and see what I think. I think it's a cute little strip. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm good with that. That's cute. Sometimes I like to put that on top of photos. Okay, I love, look how that fish was how big. I love how the more you do, the more stuff starts coming out. If you are a camper, you're really going to love all of the things here. My adventure, let's see, I have some toffee bows, and I might go with bows or I might go with a twine. I'm probably going to end up going with a twine, but I'm just going to grab that out of my stash. So for this one, what I really wanted to focus on is how to take one of our kits and be artistic. Now, and get your craft on. If you, for example, wanted to do the background stamping and all the things, you would have had such a great time on this. I feel like I wish I had taken this branch and kind of put it behind my deer. I will not save any of my stickers. I will actually send these to the swap when I'm done this kit. I am at a non-building phase in my crafting, so I reward myself every time. All right, hiking. Yes, please. All right. Lots of words. I have lots of words, so I'm going to be bringing the words in. This one says hiking. Memories is 2 over from it. Just like that. There is one that says back to nature. I'm getting all of these from the same area, that just right across the bottom, every single one of them. You're going to have so many, not even going to know what to do. Document it would be so great for my journaling. That's going to go right there. I love words. There's an explore right here. Here we go. I'll take that little explore and, oh, hopefully not put it on crooked. There we go. All right. I'm not doing camping. There are happy trails. I think I have enough that say take a hike. We were here. See how big my we were here is. And that's all I do. I just hover my pieces to see where I might like them. And then sometimes I come back and I put them on photos as well. I think I'm getting really full. Let me just make sure. Sleep Under the Stars. Nature Lover. Summer Camp Fish On. I like the Nature Lover. I'm going to swap this off for just a second and grab this Nature Lover. I like the size of it, and I do like the color. I just want to see if I want to add that. Nope. All right. All right, we're going to try to fit it in right here and hope I don't have to pull back or rip off anymore. I think I would have to rip off a little bit. I think it might be worth it though. It's one of the reasons why I always rip towards me. There we go. We were here, tucked in there, super cute. Okay, good to go. Let's add a little bit of this twine. We're just going to, I have a very large piece that is unneeded. I'm going to fold it in half, bring it through, and tie it in a knot. Just like that. And in order for this to work, the knot kind of needs to be a little, either all the way on the top or more towards the front. And then I'm going to bow it right on it. So you can see I have like multiple bows. Okay, so you have 2. Because I kind of whipped it around there, I need to take one of these and cut them. That's actually the other piece, or I would have had 3 loops on one side. And there we go. Just a quick bow. It's a little big for my taste, so I'm just going to kind of pull it down a little bit. And I want it to be messy. I want the bow to be a little messy. All right, I obviously got the wrong bow because it's pulling uneven. It happens, foam tape, after all, because it's going to go on top, and I only want to peel 2 of them. All right, I want to thank you guys for hanging with me on this video. This was a long one because that's a lot of stickers. I don't think this is the normal amount of stickers that we put when we get a pack of paper. I think what ends up happening is we know we have to ration those stickers because we want to get multiple layouts done. And when that happens, it puts us in a situation where, you know, we're like, oh, well, we need to save this for this, or we need to do this one for this one. And when you have a whole sheet for one layout, you can really go crazy and it will give your layouts an entirely different look. If you are a person who rations their stickers, let me know. All right, so here we go. I just grabbed some orange. It's going to be a little bright. There we go, because I am still destashing. Okay. I'm going to place a few hearts. Really, I'm trying to use up my hearts. All right. I feel like I'm trying to use up all of my bling because I FOMO'd. Yep, FOMO is real. It gets us all. But I ended up FOMOing enamel bling. And I'm sure they didn't mind. All right. One sheet down. I'm not going to be putting a lot of bling here. There we go. This is where that orange jumps out. They're a little too far apart for me. I'm going to bring them in just a little bit closer. Just that one a little bit closer there. All right, so meant to grab a little small one right here. There we go. I also sometimes like to put bling right down my journaling area, but I have a heart down here, so I don't want to do too many. Okay, I like that. There's only 2 down here. Add another one. Back to Nature is going to get a little heart above it too. All right. Down here where the little Explore is, I'm going to take a little heart and put one right there. That's going to do it for me. All right, there you go. All right, long video. So really long video, but the reason why it was all centered around creating with stickers. So you can see that if you pick up a kit and you are going to really give yourself all, and there's still this many left, by the way. If you're really going to give yourself all the time you want to put the stickers on, to do the foam tape, to do all of it, that you can still be very creative. It just gives you this really just gives you a canvas to bring all of that out. I absolutely love it. I think it is super adorable. Definitely way more stickers than I would ever put if I just bought a pack of paper to work with. There is just no way that I would take every single sticker that I love and use them on a single page. Look at this great scene across the bottom. There you go. All right, guys, thanks for hanging in. Thanks for watching this one. If you fast forwarded to the end, thanks for hanging while you did. Ha, ha, ha. All right, if you liked this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. It really does help me out here in the YouTube community, and I appreciate it so very much. I hope you guys really like the kits. I hope you guys like the ideas on how there are ones that you can definitely be more creative than others. So many to fit your style. And also, I hope you will really like recreating the ones we're sharing. A lot of the sketches that we have used can be found right in our 2025 Scrappin' With You sketchbook. It has a cover, but I like to flip mine on whatever our sketch of the month is. But I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is available on the website as well, and I'll put all the details in the description of this video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.